and welcome, gamers of every stripe. This is Temierus here, and there was a gene steal that just ran by that I was a little bit surprised by that. But anyway, we got Space Hulk tactics today. I am apparently very shaken up by the fact that a gene stealer just crept by here. There he still is. Get away from the camera. You will have your moment. Just go wait in the corner. Go eat on some dead ultramarine. Anyway, hopefully, for real, this will be Space Hulk tactics. I say that because last time I tried to record it, I got like an hour's worth of footage, and then I still have not been able to find where the problem is precisely, but Vegas 14, which is what I'm still using to do editing and rendering with, yeah, it just didn't want to display or render after the fact a single bit of any of the video footage I got. The audio was fine, but the video footage just wasn't there. Everything that I found of people trying to fix it wasn't the problem I was having in the first place. But anyway, Space Hulk. This one is unlike the last Space Hulk game that I did when I very first started doing all this YouTube stuff. This one's very true to the actual board game, which, surprisingly enough, I still have not actually played. Even though at Gen Con, I was helping out the group of people that built a big old giant Space Hulk to house multiple games of Space Hulk in it, so they could play multiple games of Space Hulk, because it was a Gen Con, it's a big convention thing, which all those games were taking place on the same Space Hulk. It was crazy, but I was too busy streaming a 40k tournament. So anyway, we're going to go ahead and hit campaign, and when I last tried to do this, we did some of the Blood Angels. They are reprising their role in Space Hulk. But I think this time we're going to do Gene Stealers. I think it's fitting because lately I constantly been trying to make Gene Stealer cults work. It is very difficult because they are not in a good spot rules-wise right now, being one of the very last index armies. So we will just go ahead and do a new campaign with them, and we'll do it as classic instead of brute.
My name is Jost von Marburg. I serve the Emperor as an Inquisitor of the Ordo Xenos, devoted to the destruction of those species who oppose the rightful domination of mankind over the galaxy. To that end, I have spent decades of my life studying one of the most elusive and mysterious Space Hulks. The Forsaken Doom. A name spoken in terror by starship crews. The shadow in the night. A myth. A horror, and all too real. Drifting randomly in and out of the warp for millennia, this gargantuan agglomeration of wrecks has been the grave of countless space marines. Ultimately, each chapter's defeat was lost to the ages and forgotten, leaving the Imperium in ignorance. For the Forsaken Doom is the lair of grave perils. The most dangerous of them, the gene stealers that swarm and multiply in grotesque profusion. The vanguard of the Tyranid threat, infesting ships and planets, spreading like an insidious plague. These creatures are merciless, ravenous monsters. They form a collective body of highly evolved intelligence, driven by a common will for the extermination of all life unlike them. Though some of its parts are far more ancient, the first contemporary records of the Forsaken Doom date back to the beginning of the 41st millennium, when a party of Ultramarines boarded the Great Hulk on a mission of purification. What fate awaited them there has never been revealed. Until now.
All right. And I realized I very rudely left the cursor there in the screen. the entire time. I'm sure that ruined all of the ambiance. Alright. We get more cinematic.
Venarius squad to command. We have boarded the Tyranids.
Confirmed. Brother Sergeant, we detect multiple life forms inbound.
Acknowledged. This vile wreck is infested with the Xenos. We will purge it. We are steel and doom.
The arrival of the Adeptus Astartes awakened the brood. Slowly but surely, the gene stealers were emerging from their sleep, their synapses saturated by a feral thirst for blood. The biological communal intelligence of the Xenos was about to clash with the doctrinal will of the Ultramarines.
Okay. So, if it's anything like the Space Marine one, we are going to start off with a bit of tutorial on how to play Gene Stealers, which is going to be fine, because they are a little less straightforward than the Space Marines, which is again what it's like to play the Gene Stealer cults. You are very much not straightforward, and then an FAQ comes in and takes away the one main advantage that you have over armies, because tournament players, with their stupid Smash Captain, had to go and ruin everybody's fun. And Games Workshop hasn't figured out how to address problems by not just hammering one specific nail on the head and not looking at, hey, there's probably 20 other nails that we could fix and then this wouldn't be a problem. That analogy didn't work out too well. I'm a little upset about that FAQ for different reasons. That's not this game though. Initial phase, blips are obtained during the initial phase. Place them on Gene Stealer spawn points before ending this specific phase. It was 0. There's a 0 there. That seems to be the amount. Next, which I realized I could do with R. One interesting thing about the controls of this is a lot of times when it wants you to use a button, it wants you to use the keyboard button. So your mouse is not always the most reliant thing to do. So blip spawn point there, and I have to choose another blip spawn point, yes, but where? I think we'll do that. That looks good enough. It's a tutorial mission. We should do okay, kind of. Let's see what these Ultramarines are going to do. He's trying to shoot the doors. That's not nice. I will say is one thing that I have liked about this game is we get to see how a Terminator actually manages to move. Which you don't always get to see when it's just a tabletop. And they're just shooting all the doors down. I can't help but feel like that might end badly for them. Every Gene Stealer turn is divided into two phases. The conversion phase, this is when a card can be converted into blips, which are placed on spawn points. The action phase, play cards, reveal blips, and attack to overcome the enemy. Okay. Oh, I wanted to actually look at those cards. So, let's see here. Because it's tutorial one, you gotta do what it says you want to do. To obtain blips, a card must be converted during the conversion phase. Once converted, each card gives 2 new blips containing between 0, decoy, and 3 Gene Stealers. The recovered blips can be deployed on spawn points. Convert. Okay. So now I need to place these on these points. I think I'm gonna put one there, and I'm gonna put another one there. All right. I think that's it. Should be it. Unless I've been doing this wrong this whole time. Not sure. Select a spawn point containing a blip. Blips need to exit spawn points to act. Select one of them and confirm the selection to place it on the square. This doesn't cost action points. Spawn points can be locked down by the Terminators. Don't let them get too close. Okay. So we'll spawn these guys. And let's go over here. And stay ready. I'm gonna assume that is move. I think I'm just gonna leave that one there. That's the unfortunate thing, is I'm not entirely certain of everything that's going on here. Blip contains between 0 decoy. I should probably read the the info. And 3 gene stealers. Number is unknown to the Terminator player. A blip cannot attack Terminators. A blip can be revealed and become a gene stealer. A Terminator automatically reveals a blip when it enters the Terminator's line of sight. A decoy blip will disappear automatically 2 turns after leaving the spawn point. Okay. Disengage gene stealer. Once selected, a gene stealer blip must be disengaged before you can control another one. A disengaged gene stealer blip cannot be controlled again during the active turn. You can manually disengage the controlled gene stealer blip through the action bar. Okay, that is what I was needing. So I can hold and just leave that there, because I'm fine with where it's at. I didn't put anything up there. We're gonna move this blip. This blip we're gonna move over here. I don't want to quite open that door yet. Go over here. Open the door. And we'll keep doing some sneaking. Oh, I saw the button on the bar for disengaging. Okay. Alright. That might have been a little bit boring to watch, but this is all learning process for everybody here, okay? Just hang in there. We'll eat some Ultramarines in a minute. Okay, they are doing a lot of overwatching. That's what the eyeballs mean. I know that from the Space Marine tutorial. It means they're waiting to shoot when I show up. However, that one is... he's out of options. Every gene stealer turn is decided. We've already read that. So let's look at our cards. We have a Psychic Strike. And a Psychic Strike. And target a door that isn't linked to a console. It opens or closes. Okay. It's not gonna let me play the card. Oh, damn it! Convert one of those. Okay. It's got keys there, but they're not doing what I would expect them to do. Put a blip there. Okay. Now we can play our card. I'm gonna play on the Sergeant. I'm gonna try and be very risky here. That is what I'm going to attempt to do. Ah, this is the reveal button. Okay, this will reveal our one gene stealer. Which gives us the nice little cinematic introduction of him. Want him. He died immediately. You were supposed to try and live there, as my phone then goes off. Okay. Well, that didn't go over very well. I was hoping it would go over a little bit better. didn't. Let's open that door. Aha! I still have a gene stealer. Eat his face hole! Do it! Go away, tutorial. Get him! Get him now! Take that! Aha! Rending claws are a very vicious weapon. I know, tutorial. Go away. I don't need your help anymore. I know what I'm doing. Sort of. We are gonna have that one lie in wait. And this one, they are vulnerable. Oh crap, I know what I should have done with it. Ah, damn it. That won't go there. Haha. Will you just go away, you tutorial? I know how this works now, okay? Just stop. Oh, he's got a heavy flamer. I need to get in his behind space. Sneak attack, Rend! Do it! Do it again! He needs to be dead.
Command, we have lost our heavy weapon. The bearer was taken by those living nightmares.
Okay, he didn't want anything else to say then. Alright, you just go there. Make them sweat a little bit. And you run over here. He was too slow. Rend him!
This is Squad Septimus to all units. Squad Vandarius is lost. We are assuming command. Vengeance shall be ours, brothers. Stand by to deploy Scorpion turrets. This is Squad Mithraea. Acknowledged. We may have found a way to destroy this section of the Hulk. Do you read?
As the fight grew in intensity, more monsters were stirred to join the fray. Unknown biodivergent gene stealers emerged to engulf the Ultramarines. These biomorphic monsters were to be the dark curse of the Forsaken Doom.
Alright, we succeeded. Go us. I didn't want to look at my cards, I wanted to go. That's still a weird one with buttons. Okay, we got rewards of a gene stealer, a bulwark biomorph, and DNA. I don't know what I'm supposed to do with that. I used 2 menace points. Alright. We didn't kill the sergeant. That's upsetting.
Cunning and
that's
brutal,
inner
the
picture.
Gene Stealers slaughtered Squad Vandarius to the last man. For the Ultramarines, it was a setback that needed immediate reprisal. But the Brood was now fully active, as the warriors of the 13th chapter would learn to their great cost.
Oh, I need to tell it to go next. Okay. We could replay it and try and do better. Well, let's just go ahead and try and do another one. Kill all Terminators. Kill at least one Terminator with an explosive barrel. Kill the plasma cannon bearer. Protect both consoles. Let's do that one. Wait, I have squad management. I can manage a squad. So I can upgrade these. I can't see what this here. Let's see. Let's read this thing so we can make it go away. Memories of the past. Those are the Hive's memories of previous encounters against Terminator's chapters. They are dispatched over the centuries. Okay. Each crossroad is a choice between 2 different memories, 2 different tactics chosen by the Hive. Move the cursor to select a memory, then confirm in order to continue. See, that's a weird one that you're saying that they're getting this from the Hive, because a gene stealer in this color, this blue and the pinkish, palish skin, that's a gene stealer that's been an independent for a while and really isn't attached to any specific Hive line. Because the gene stealers are the ones that can actually operate independently. That's why they're set out as the vanguard and then have their whole thing of they can land on a planet and then they'll sneak around and they'll start laying eggs inside of people, which ends up breeding just horrible, hideous mutations of people in Gene Stealer, it gets better and ends up looking more like a human than when it looks a lot like a human. Then the next babies are just straight up Gene Stealers, which I'm not completely 100% certain, but I'm pretty sure it's birthed the way a normal human births. So having something like this get birthed out of you, I only can imagine how painful that would be. But yeah, it just keeps going like a cycle like that, and then they end up building this cult-like religion and making out a beacon for a big hive fleet, and then the hive fleet eventually gets nearby, and as soon as it does, it dominates the minds of everybody with the hive mind, which then has them all rise up and just start killing everybody. And then the original Gene Stealer, who is the patriarch at this point, and then wants to leave, so he scurries hurriedly to try and get on an escape ship so he can fly off and repeat the process. Meanwhile, all the other Tyranids from the actual hive fleet now drop down, and they start eating everything, and all the cultists that the Gene Stealer laid eggs in that then did all this mutating and did that endless cycle, they're all like, oh my god, the gods showed up, I'm so honored to give you sustenance. Sometimes they're like, they're amazing, but they're eating all of us. That's kind of weird. Regardless, they are still godly beings from the heavens to them, so they'll kill all the humans for them and then get eaten. That's just the vicious cycle of Tyranids. It's fun stuff. Okay. Well, that was a tangent off of just looking at that, so let's see here. How do we do this upgrade cost? I don't know what the down fist is meaning. I don't know what any of this is necessarily meaning. But you know what? We'll do that. We did that. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but I did it. Okay. No, it's just a hardened armored Tyranid. Alright. He's got like lictor talons on him. That's cool. Why don't they make a model with lictor talons? All they get are the regular scything talons. I want lictor talons on him. That looks cool. Okay. So we did that. Can now go here. Maybe. It's not letting me. I right-clicked on it and that made the Gene Stealer growl. How do I? Fourth. Carry onward. Oh. Well, that's weird. We're gonna do that one. That was really awkward.
Squad Mithraea
There we
found
go.
a weakness in the structure of the derelict. An ancient network of plasma energy conduits was still functional, and their destruction would likely split the space hulk into fragments. Meanwhile, their battle brothers in Squad Vandarius worked to activate their sentry turrets. But the Gene Stealers were not idle in the face of these invaders. Lurking close to the Marines in the corners and recesses of the wrecks, a rare type of biomorphic Gene Stealer was about to launch a crushing assault.
Alright, here's our map. We can do some planning out. Or we get 200 DNA if we kill the plasma cannon guy. We'll get an extra 100 DNA if they don't destroy either of the consoles. Let's do it. Squad composition. Well, I want some of those bulwark guys that we got. I don't think I want too many of them, though, because they have fewer action points. And you know what? We'll do 2 and 2. Since we're doing more of a defend, I think that should be good. We are ready. I really do hope that we are more than just 4 Gene Stealers, though, because that is going to be very much of an uphill battle for us.
Be wary, we are entering an old vessel. Watch for any trucks the Greenskins may have left behind.
How could such a disarray ever function as a starship?
Because they believe it to function.
Orcish contraptions are unstable. Do not open fire unless you have a clear line of sight. Explosive materials and fungal growths are everywhere. Perhaps we could turn that to our advantage. Use them to kill the Xenos. Sergeant Septimus reporting in. These energy conduits are heavily armored. There is no other option. We need to destroy them with a shot from the plasma cannon.
Don't do that. That sounds mean.
Understood, Brother Sergeant. Plasma cannon stands ready to claim. We are Steel and Doom.
I got a little overzealous in hitting the space button there. Hope your plasma cannon gets hot and kills you. Okay. I know how to do that now, and that just told me that the bulwark guy only has 4 actions. Alright. Oh, there's a dude already on here. Look at him be all fancy. Now, this raises a question to me. So we have the fungus, which, in case you are unaware, that's where orcs come from. They're basically just mushrooms. So that leads me to believe, are they perhaps going to expand this later and give us orcs on the Space Hulk? Because that would be fun. Okay, the Ultramarines are all stacked up in there. From what I know on how to do Space Hulk, they did not deploy correctly. Because you are supposed to have Nameless Mook, more important, so like a special weapon, more important, so like a special weapon, then you're very important, which is your leader dude. That's how you always are supposed to deploy. So I don't know what they're doing, but they're Ultramarines, they're always weird. Alright, where are my spawn points? There's one over here. We're gonna put that blip there. Just keep wasting time. And there. My blip has been revealed. He's right in front of an assault cannon. Oh. Okay. Now the plasma cannon should... Huh. Are you sure about that one, guys? Are you 100% positive? Okay. Alright then. We'll do that. That'll do. And boop. And a boop. And the next. And do this on to you. There you go. And you can go here, because gotta attack him in the back. So we have a 66% chance of winning. I say we succeeded. Okay, now we don't have to deal with the plasma cannon. And then we can move up here. Should we try and kill the sergeant? I think we'll try and kill the sergeant. Did we kill the sergeant? Nope. He pushes us away. Okay. Well, then plan B, we'll try and kill the plasma cannon. And there you go!
All units, this is Brother Sergeant Brutius assuming command. All units fall back to Sector Zeta-14. We cannot win this day. Prepare for a tactical withdrawal from the Hulk.
Look, no one ever said that Ultramarines were actually a super effective chapter of Space Marines. That's all I'm gonna say.
Having sustained significant losses,
Has
the
nothing to do with the
Ultramarines
fact that
were
it'd be
forced
on the
to
easier
retreat.
difficulty.
The boundary between retreat in good order and a complete rout is a narrow one, despite the martial prowess of the Sons of Guilliman. Alas, however narrow the gap, the Gene Stealers always find a way to slip through.
All right. So we can go to an ultramarine route.
Blooded and suffering numerous casualties, the surviving Ultramarines moved to evacuate from the Forsaken Doom. But the battle was not over. As a single steadfast sergeant rallied the remnants of the broken squads to fight a fierce rear-guard action.
I think we will try and kill him. So if I need to try and kill the apothecary. That's my secondary. Primary is kill the sergeant, which I'm sure is going to entail just eating all of them. And what we will... Actually... There we go. Target Gene Stealer, +1 die in its next melee. Afterwards, the Gene Stealer automatically dies. Ooh. Risky. And another one of those. Okay. Alright then.
Brutius was a typical Space Marine sergeant. To him, defeat was impossible to accept so long as he still had the strength to hold a weapon and the will to face the enemy.
Sergeant Brutius to all units, I have assumed command. We must hold this section until our brothers have withdrawn back to the boarding torpedo. Courage and honor, brothers.
Did the Gene Stealers understand that the sergeant was important? It is hard to speculate how the thought process of the brood works, but it seems the Xenos deliberately tried to behead the Ultramarine defenders by killing their last leader in the field.
So the interesting thing about that, how he raises the question of whether they can tell he's important or not, there's definitely evidence that Tyranids can figure that out, with a very big piece of evidence being how a Swarmlord was created with the express intent of killing the chapter master of the Ultramarines, which they would have succeeded if the Ultramarines weren't the favored Games Workshop poster children, so they weren't technically allowed to lose. But it could have happened. It should have happened. It was basically a MacGuffin that they didn't get killed. Okay.
Brother Sergeant, I'm picking up an intermittent Vox signal. Imperial icons confirmed.
Could it be reinforcements? The Imperial Navy?
Negative. These Vox codes are ancient. No one has used them in 10 millennia.
Then ignore it. We have no time to waste on such things.
I have a feeling you might not want to ignore that. That is looking to be heresy era communication that you're getting. Would be helpful. Okay. We went a couple turns in here. I had one Gene Stealer who sat there, took all the fire from the sergeant without getting hit. Then this asshole came around the corner and was able to shoot him. But I have all this in back, which they are no longer paying attention to. Because I don't know what Mr. Assault Cannon over there is doing, but he can keep being weird. I'm still in my place phase. Yes, I'm still in my conversion phase. It says so right there. No. Oh, wrong buttons. Gene Stealers achieve victory by preventing the Terminators from achieving their objectives before the end of the countdown. Okay. That was obvious, game. Obvious game is obvious. Okay, we are gonna go here, because this is 2 Gene Stealers. And we're going to reveal Gene Stealer there, and reveal another one there. I really do like their cinematic intros. I honestly, genuinely do. Okay, and then we are going to force the sergeant to only have... Where is he? There he is. Only have one die. Alright. But I'm gonna try and rend apart the assault cannon guy. Ah, he brushed me aside. What fiesta. Now, get the sergeant! We got him! Take that!
Sergeant Crucius is down. We are overrun. We give our lives in Gilliman's name. This is command. The Xenos swarms are everywhere. We cannot stop them.
Take that, you damned Ultra Smurfs. No one likes you anyway. I didn't manage to kill the apothecary, but I had too easy of a strike to take out the sergeant, so I had to take it. I didn't want to try and risk it. Alright then. Well, this is not just for us to... I'm going to go ahead and save, because I'm probably going to play this later. What? Oh, apparently I just keep saving. Back to Mimi. But that gives an idea on how Gene Stealer's play is a little bit more engaging than it might show in the video. I am always very unsure of just strategy games in general. Hey, there's a librarian. And especially turn-based strategy games, and whether they even make somewhat decent videos. But before we do that, I'm just going to go here because we have this little thing. I wanted to demonstrate how we have customization. Now, for the Gene Stealers, unfortunately, it's not a whole lot. Let's pick Leviathan. So, when we pick it, we can, you know, as we can tell, it gives us our high fleet colors, which Behemoth is the purple and the pale white. Now, unfortunately, in the customization, we don't get a whole lot for the Gene Stealers. I mean, we can do some color changing, but really it's not a whole heck of a lot that we get to change on them. Which is a little sad, but you know, we can do some things there. Mainly what I'm upset by is the way I paint my Tyranids. I can't really pull off with this because my colors aren't here, because I've got a bunch of little colors. I can scale the pattern, but I can't actually pick a pattern, so I don't think it actually does anything for them. So yeah, the customization that you can do with these guys outside of the abilities that you're probably going to have on there isn't a whole lot. See, he's just got the boring sighting talents. He doesn't have those awesome lictor talents. That was over on that one that we just had. And of course, get Brood Lord. Where the real customization is, though, because that was the whole point of me coming in here, is with the Terminators, which you can have the Bull Angels, the Dark Angels, the Space Wolves, or the Ultramarines. We're gonna go with the Space Wolves because, you know, some goddamn Space Vikings. And if we go into customization, the customization is much more rich. You can, so right off the bat, we have head. You can either, you know, show off your Space Wolf set. You can also flip these guys around real crazy fast, have your physics freak out. It's a little amusing. But you can either have your fantastic beard shown, or you can be some kind of uncultured heathen and put a helmet on your squad leader as Space Wolves. I don't even understand why they let you have this option, because Space Wolves, if they have any degree of importance, immediately lose their helmet and gain the mystical runic force fields, of which give them as much protection as a helmet and the ability to breathe in space, so they never have to put on a helmet because it's Space Wolves. You can then also do these things to him, which that one I think is actually intended for the helmet, not actually a bare head. That just looks kind of funky. But you can give him the mask, and we could just argue that there was some horrific acid accident that's taken away the hair follicles, take away his beard. He's a Space Wolf. He's got to have a beard. But then, you know, you can pick all the parts that you want. I like that one because it's got a bunch of trophies. I can't change the belt on him. We can change up our pauldrons. We're going to go with that one. We can change the I'll move it a little bit so you can change an icon on the hand. We'll do that. And then there's little details that we can do on the weapon as well. We're gonna go with that one. Just keep it all nice and wolfy. And there's all this stuff here. There's a big old space wolf showing. You can't get rid of the Terminator armor. The Terminator honor. That's what that symbol is on that shoulder. Shows that he has the right to have Terminator armor. He has earned it. Can't really see the left hand because of the shield. We'll just go with that one. Can't mess with the shield. We'll give this one. We'll give this one all that. Looks fine. Do some thigh pads. Give ourselves the lucky wolf tail. We can do the upper arms and the thighs. Got some chain wrapping going on there. That looks cool. Of course, you cannot change the cloak because he has his Fenrisian wolf pelt, which, for those who are unaware, just remember there are no wolves on Fenris. Even though this is a wolf pelt from Fenris, there are no wolves on Fenris. You are trying to figure out what the hell I mean by that, and I'm clearly trying to fool you. I am not. Look it up. No wolves on Fenris. It's a real thing. You will probably be very confused when you go and look at it. But then from there we can go and we can change colors on them. They have some different options too that affect how to change the colors. See, like that. The Space Marines are much more customizable than the Gene Stealers. But then you even got your pattern options. It's not letting me do a pattern on him. So you can get some weird things. You can mess with the scale. All of that. All of that good stuff. You can even put your water slide transfers on if you want to. There's a lot of customization here. It makes me very happy that they made sure to put in customization. But anyway, that is some examples of Space Hulk Tactics gameplaying, and then me rambling about other stuff 40k related, and then going off and showing off the customization. Because when I saw that torso move, I think a Gene Stealer just fed on it, and the Servo Skull doesn't care. But Servo Skulls don't normally care when you're somebody where it's questionable what your favor was in the Imperium, and you die, and they're like, well, your service isn't done. Tear your skull out, put cybernetics, graft it to your brain, because the Imperium doesn't trust full AI. There still has to be a human brain in there. So you're stuck. It's just a floating skull. The occasional little spindly bit that does things. Like here, he's got what looks like a little syringe thing. And that's what you are for like all of eternity, because we'll be damned if that's only a temporary device that they have. It's the 41st millennium. It's not supposed to be friendly. But yeah, that's Space Hulk Tactics. I kind of am enjoying it. It's definitely interesting, but it seems to be a little bit mixed. I see people having some complaints about how the AI works. I mean, we saw it there where they knew there was a Gene Stealer right next to him, and they just decided they're just going to run up, leave their backs exposed with no action points to retaliate with, and just let me do it. And I'm hearing that when people are playing as the Space Marines, the Gene Stealers, sometimes just going and seeing you do an Overwatch and decide they'll just never risk it. So, that might be a thing, but that's something fixable. Yeah, I'm having trouble trying to figure out how to end this. Oh, there's the Yamurgle with this nice Cthulian face. I said they didn't go with my favorite Gene Stealer head, which is the one that has, because they got their little carapace chitin on their heads there. Just go here right there. So, in this case, it's the blue. They got that. When you get a Gene Stealer box, you get one for the acid. You have one that's got like more of a spear tongue. I don't think that's an option anymore. I don't even remember when that would have been an option. But you get the, which I'm seeing is traditionally the Yamurgle one, which has the Cthulhu face on it. But there's a fourth special head that's in there, which is my absolute favorite. So the chitin on the face is way larger to the point where it's over his eyes. So it's an eyeless Gene Stealer. And I don't know, with the Tyranids, there's just something about having it that they're so perfectly evolved to just be a hunting species, that they evolved out the eyes. And it's just when you stop and think, there's a reason that it decided this doesn't need eyes anymore. And I just like it because it just makes it seem very alien. And that's partly why I like the Maliceptor, because it's this gargantuan brain bug of casting psychic powers that has no eyes, because it just uses the sheer will of the hive mind to just sense people are near it, and then go, hey, that's psychically attuned. Let me explode your brain by just channeling the power of the entire hive mind into it, and you can't handle it. I like the Maliceptor. I take him in all my 8th edition lists. But yeah, Space Hulk Tactics. I'm just gonna keep rambling on about other stuff there, so I think I'm just gonna leave it now before I frantically tangent off into something else and fail to stop the video. Yeah, I'm going now. For real. I swear.